great cities, and this is where the world's best rally begins. Hello, I'm Bill Woods. Welcome to round 13 of the World Rally Championship, the API Rally Australia. This is the Langley Park Superstage. The action is absolutely frantic, and a very, very big crowd is here on a magic night. Why not? Because this round is where the World Championship could be decided for 1997. John Smailes, 3 drivers in contention.
And Tommi Makinen is the man in the box seat, Bill. He's the man who currently leads the championship by 9 points from Carlos Saenz, with Colin Mcrae another 4 points in arrears. Now, there are 3 different makes of cars, 3 different makes of tyres. The championship has never been so wide open. 3
of a field of 90 competing over the next 4 days. This will be the first of 3 times we'll visit Langley Park. And there are 2 Australians also involved who, for the first time, can match it with the world leaders.
Neil Bates and Ed Ordinsky. Neil Bates for the World Rally Championship Corolla, and Ed Ordinsky, 7 times winner of the Production Car Championship here, has been given a Group A Mitsubishi to mix it with the world's best.
Just 2.2 kilometres, but an awesome contest. Driver versus driver. You don't see that too often in the World Rally Championship. We'll see 6 marvellous matchups in what is an awesome event, loved by the fans and the drivers alike. Time now to meet the men who'll be in this contest.
This is a spectacular opportunity for Ed Ordinsky and Wes Stacey there beside him. They could have played it safe. They could have tried for their 8th production victory. Instead, Ed and Wes have seized the chance to drive the Group A Rally Art Evo 3 Lancer. And Possum Bourne, twice Australian champion and former Asia-Pacific title holder. Possum is seated 10th in front of Ed Ordinsky in his privately prepared Subaru Impreza. Bourne was 5th in the world title in New Zealand this year. He's been as high as 4th outright here. There are no championships to be won for Bourne, but a big point for Possum to prove.
Yoshio Fujimoto from Japan is running with Sweden's ace co-driver Arne Hertz. Fujimoto is chasing vital points here in Perth. The 95 African Safari winner is giving the Works Celica its last outing. He's just 7 points behind Kenneth Eriksson in the Asia Pacific Championship, which is being decided here in conjunction with the World Rally title. Subaru's Colin Mcrae is one of 3 men who can win the world title here. To do so, he must win not only here, but in the RAC Rally, the final championship round in 4 weeks' time. He won here 3 years ago, and in this situation has nothing to lose. One of the most aggressive, exciting drivers in the world.
The Frenchman Didier Auriol is the wildest card of all in the battle for the World Championship. His new Toyota World Rally Championship car is under development. It's allowed to score places, but not to score championship points. Any place he does win is one not available to the title contestants. Because of that, Auriol can play a big part in the determination of the 3-way battle between Makinen, Saenz and Mccrae. Tommi Makinen is on Mitsubishi, chasing his 2nd consecutive World Championship and his 2nd straight win here at API Rally Australia. If he wins here, he wins the world title. Makinen could have already sewn up the title, but he wrote his car off in a monster crash in New Zealand. Today, he's under pressure, and that's when, historically, Makinen sometimes makes mistakes.
For all his achievement, Carlos Saenz has never won API Rally Australia, but he really must win this year to take out the world title for the 3rd time. Teamed with the great Juha Kankkunen, who joined Ford mid-season, Saenz has won twice and finished 2nd twice in his last 5 rallies. Opportunity knocks for the 3-time national champion Neil Bates, who's driving the new Corolla World Rally car. Finally, a mechanical match with the top teams in API Rally Australia. He proved that with the fastest practice time of 1:35. He might give Australia its first victory in the rally's 10-year history.
But the man who owns API Rally Australia is Juha Kankkunen. He's won the event 4 times. It's his best career record at any one rally. But frankly, he's unlikely to win this year, because if he's in a winning position and Carlos Saenz is behind him, Ford will evoke team orders to move Carlos closer to outright championship victory. Richard Burns is a frustrated bridesmaid of the rally season. Mitsubishi this year used him sparingly. In a limited program, his best result has been a second in Kenya. But Burns is a fast, reliable and an excellent backup driver for Tommi Makinen. Watch him push Saenz and Mccrae in the hope that he can force them into error and help Makinen in his quest for the championship.
Kenneth Eriksson leads the Asia Pacific Championship and needs maximum points here to clinch that title for the second year in a row. But at the same time supporting teammate Colin Mcrae in Subaru's bid for the World Championship. He's won here in '95, loves the gravel, and his hot lap yesterday flew onto the back pages. Well, some marvellous matchups there, John Smailes. We must stress that there are 24 drivers featured over the next hour or so. There are already more than 60 who've completed their laps, and so far, the best time is
1 minute and 41.9 seconds. It went to the West Australian driver, Tolly Chalice. Realised that the lap record round here stands to Juha Kankinen, set in 1993, at 1 minute 35. Expect that to at least be equal tonight, maybe beaten.
Pretty safe bet that we will, of course, beat that record. The very elite are about to hit the track. Let's go now to an elite in a different class altogether. Many sideshows here. Perth puts on a fantastic Langley Park Super Stage. There are bands playing, all sorts of events taking place around the circuit itself. And one of those events, one of those sideshows, is Parry Sheene.
Yeah, right, okay. I tell you, they have put on such a good show down here in Western Australia. If you look behind me here, it's like a fun fair thing. There's been a group playing, and when you arrive at the airport, you know, there's cars, rally cars at the airport and that. And I think people don't really realise how much good motorsport does for Australia. You look at the Adelaide Grand Prix, the Phillip Island Grand Prix and that, and everybody is really behind the rally. You know, they couldn't put on a better show. Standing here is the river right out here, and if you go into the town, there's people sort of singing and dancing and that, and it's really fantastic. Yeah, Kenneth Eriksson's one of the top world rally drivers in Sweden, and I believe you had a little co-drive with him.
Yes, thanks to Kenneth, I took part in what was an extremely quick lap. This is what the Langley Park Super Stage is all about. Well, the straight line speed and the feeling of acceleration of this part of the track is just awesome. Now, of course, hard on the brakes because we wanted the dirt for the first time. And this is what rally's all about. As Kenneth gets a look at this track. Hold on, now we're going to fly onto this very dusty straight where they're still working on the centre of the track, and this is amazing. Woo! Kenneth, there can't be many tracks in the world that mix bitumen and dirt like this.
No, it's not many around. This is one of the absolutely best one in the world. It's fantastic to drive.
Now we're back onto the tar. Hard on the brakes, sideways. And back into it again. This surface here, Kenneth, is a lot different still to the forest roads in Perth as well.
It's a bit different, but it's really fantastic.
No mistakes there. Beautiful sideways. Another little jump here, which is another stomach churner. Woo! Woo! I had a big lunch today, Kenneth. I don't think that was a good idea.
I don't care about your lunch just now. I just enjoy myself here.
Here we go again. Big straight line. And we'll turn around.
Yeah, Kenneth said you were really good, and he really appreciates you paying to have the seat cleaned.
Airborne with Kenneth Eriksson. That truly was the ride of my life. Sensational stuff, and I thank him very much for that. We hope he goes well tonight. You can ride with Kenneth Eriksson and the world's best rally drivers coming up over the next hour. Stay with us. API Rally Australia 1997, the Langley Park Super Stage is where it all happens, and this is the first of our big matchups tonight. Car number 27, Louis Clement, with his Spanish co-driver Alex Romani, the all-Spanish team, but it's an Australia-New Zealand combination in car 26 that they're up against. There we are, driver Greg Graham from New Zealand, his co-driver Glenn McNeil from Australia.
And they're rolling. The green light is on. Expect a lap of about 1 minute 40 seconds, thereabouts. Consider that this is a Group N battle. This means production cars that we're looking at.
Charging down Riverside Drive, hard on the brakes, squirming as they get onto the dirt for the first time. And this is car number 27, Louis Clement, the all-Spanish combination.
A little bit misleading at this point in time because they're on two separate tracks, as you can see. They cross over here, coming up to the Qantas jump. Clement goes over the top. Graham looking for a way underneath. Graham made a really slow start. I was really surprised at it, Bill. I don't think he was prepared for the start, and he lost quite a bit of time right off the jump.
Greg Graham's had a marvellous season in the National Rally Championship, of course. This is his big international contest, and of course no better stage than the Langley Park Super Stage. Clement in the final straight, heading down Riverside Drive, and a big finish.
Now about to swap over for the second run, of course, now. But you can see the gap there. He's got almost 3 seconds on Greg Graham. This is quite amazing. Clement, a real operator. He came second in Greece in the Group N Championship. He's lying 7th in the World Championship in Group N. This is Greg Graham's chance to star, but I think Graham, perhaps a little overawed with the situation, is choosing to take it a little bit easy and get himself out into the forest tomorrow. Clement really chucking the Evo 3 around.
Clement's turn to go under, of course, the Qantas flyover, which Greg Graham has just negotiated there, and he is a long, long way behind. You're watching the time. This will be the quicker of the two cars that you're watching on the top left-hand side of your screen. They'll be heading out to the tar again in just a moment.
Graham is definitely destined for World Championship stardom. There's no shadow of a doubt. A time of 1:46.1, so almost 4 seconds, in fact, off Tolly Chalice's time.
And Greg Graham well behind that. And you just catch a glimpse there of some of the side shows that are taking place here at the Langley Park Super Stage in Perth, and we're about to hear from the winner of this matchup, Louis Clement.
Yeah, Louis, fastest time. Happy? What's the circuit like?
Yes, I'm very happy. The circuit is a little slippery, but I think the car is okay, and we are well.
And the quickest, so okay.
Yes. Okay, thank you very much.
Yes.
Louis Clement teaming with Alex Romani.
Now the race between two Japanese, Konishi in car 25 and Kataoka in car 24. These drivers are battling for the Asia Pacific Championship down in the field, 9th and 10th in fact in the Asia Pacific Championship in the Group N class. Only 4 points separate them, so a private battle going on halfway through the field. These also Group N cars. Now by Group N I mean they're production cars. They are still four-wheel drive, they are still turbocharged, and they get away again just a little bit circumspectly, not really into it, but this time side by side down Riverside Drive. This is more like it.
Kataoka with his co-driver Satoshi Hiyashi, but the other combination, Kanishi, has a New Zealand co-driver, Tony Circum.
Kanishi, of course, in the Subaru, and Kataoka in the Evo 3 Lancer. This is the Subaru, the red car, the Lancer.
Still relatively side by side, but here they get totally away from one another.
The jump, of course, much faster over the top. You've really got to thread your way through the tunnel underneath the jump, but of course it's made up on the second lap around.
Car 25 is Kanishi.
Nicely throws the thing. That's the way to do it in a production car. You've got to keep yourself fluid the whole way.
Kanishi in 1996 was 25th overall in the API Rally Australia. Kataoka was 11th overall, but was second in Group N.
And look at this, 3.6 seconds faster is Kataoka than the cars on that first run. So this is starting to get right into it.
On to the second run now. You're looking at car 25, Kanishi. Subaru Impreza against Mitsubishi Lancer, the Evolution 3, driven by Kataoka.
This time over the bridge, flying is 24, Kataoka. Kanishi looking for the way through. This is going to be tight, actually. I'd give it to Kataoka, but only just, because Kanishi throws it sideways, two sideways, in fact, and loses a lot of time on the last corner, and it's going to be Kataoka's by quite some way. But look at the time coming up. Just missing by just, what, 1.8 of a second the time of Tolly Chalice. So Tolly Chalice remains the leader in this shootout for the first of 24 special stages. Rally Australia.
Kataoka, fastest that we've seen. He's 3.1 seconds inside the previous time, but still outside Chalice's time set earlier this evening. And Barry Sheene is with him.
Yeah, congratulations, Kataoka-san, fastest time.
Why? Thank you very much. Yeah. But
everything okay?
Yes, okay. I hope we're only finished.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yoshihiro Kataoka, car 24. The Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 3.
And this is the debut of the Subaru Impreza 555 of Michael Guest, the Newcastle driver from New South Wales, teamed up again with David Green, his co-driver of old. And coming up alongside him, car 22, Karanjit Singh and Alan O from Malaysia in the Petronas-sponsored Proton Wira, which is, in fact, a Mitsubishi in disguise.
Michael Guest, one of Australia's most talented drivers.
He's going to need to be, however, because Singh leads the Asia-Pacific Group N Production Car Championship from, in fact, Konishi, who we just saw competing in the last round. That's Guest sitting ready to go. He's been driving all year a Mitsubishi, hasn't been able to get it on the pace, although, in fact, won the Australian Group N production car class this year, but has been dissatisfied that it just wouldn't go faster. Now his sponsor has given him this Subaru WRX. It'll be interesting to see how it goes in this, its first run.
The quandary here, John, of course, is that they have to go very hard. They have to go flat out, only 2.2 kilometres, and yet one tiny mistake, one bit of oversteer or understeer, and they're going to lose a lot of time relative to this short distance.
Well, Bill, there are 420 kilometres of competitive rallying still to go in the next 3 days. You'd be really crazy to throw it away here tonight, but the pressure is really on. There are 14,000 people here at Langley Park. It's the biggest crowd that's ever gathered in one place to watch a rally superstage anywhere in the world. Seriously. And to think that they're here and you're competing in front of them puts a lot of pressure on the drivers.
Great for sponsors, great for drivers in the overall exposure of the World Rally Championship. And it's a concept that has been mimicked overseas, but not to the extent that it's been done here, and certainly nowhere near as successful. But certainly Perth leading the world with this Langley Park Superstage, which has been around for some time.
Well, it has since 1988, in fact, when it was first introduced into Australia, and it is a really sensational concept, and it has won the delight of the world.
Still waiting for our third match up here. We'll go to a break and come back with more from Langley Park. So far, these are your quickest times of the program. Welcome back, API Rally Australia from Perth, the Langley Park Superstage, and Michael Guest and Karanjit Singh have just been round the track, and Singh a comfortable victor there, but we have another matchup coming up, John Smailes.
Well, indeed, the next matchup, Bill, is for Formula 2 cars. Formula 2 is an interesting concept that's only been introduced in recent years into rallying in the world. Formula 2 means 2-litre and 2-wheel drive, front-wheel drive for that. Naturally aspirated means no turbocharger. So the cars you see on camera at the moment are car 21, that's Monster Tajima, travelling with Claire Parker, and car 38, Bob Nicolai, travelling with Jim Carlton. That's Nicolai and Carlton there, or Nicoli from Western Australia.
Big local flavour here.
Yeah. And alongside is the man they call the Monster, Monster Tajima from Japan. Tajima loves his rallying, and look what he's driving. It's a station wagon.
Nobuhiro Tajima, but of course he likes to be called Monster. Don't misunderstand us there. Claire Parker of Australia is his co-driver. So 3 Australians out of the 4 involved here. And right now, as they go down Riverside Drive, it's the local entry, Bob Nicoli, who's marginally in front, but right now, they're starting to get away from each other. It is Nicolai, in fact, not Nicoli, so we'll correct ourselves there.
Tajima now taking a little bit of understeer on the outside of the course. Claire Parker alongside him has been driving all year with Marty Beckton. Went to the Scottish Rally in Great Britain, performed really sensationally, won a class. Now she's teamed up with Tajima for this rally. Tajima, one of the world's best, has won the Pikes Peak climb, for goodness sake, in a twin-engine Suzuki. The man loves driving unusual motor cars, but it's Nikolai onto the straight for the first time. Tajima alongside him. And Tajima just dropping back ever so slightly.
You can see there's an inside and an outside track here, but it crosses itself a couple of times and they go twice onto Riverside Drive. So very hard to keep track of exactly who's in front, but I think it's pretty clear right now. Although we see them cross almost exactly together on the Qantas flyover.
In fact, this is going to be very, very tight indeed, Bill. Tajima on the outside of the track, but he's got the long way round. Nikolai on the inside might just be able to pick it off as he charges into the last corner, the API corner, and now they charge back onto the straight, side by side. It's Tajima who's got the run on the outside just and is flying down the straight. Nikolai maybe half a second behind. That's the closest run of the day. And look at the brakes come on Tajima's car as he screeches to a halt through the flying finish.
Close run.
Close run.
Very close for Tajima. And as we said, quite remarkable to see the wagon competing. There you can see the splits, 0.8 of a second in it. Amazing stuff. But so far, Tajima fourth fastest and Nikolai fifth.
Yeah, Tajima-san, congratulations. You beat the local man.
Yes, I'm very happy because both keep car, from my agent.
Yeah, no crashes and very, very close.
Thank you very much. Okay. I'm very happy.
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
Okay, bye.
And if you could have taken the balaclava off, you would have seen a grin from ear to ear on Big Monster's face. He really, really enjoys every kilometre of his rallying. Look at the crowd, isn't it sensational?
Very talented matchup coming up too. One of the world's most promising drivers, Alistair Mccrae, is in car 17.
This, in
We're
fact,
looking at car 19 right
this
now.
This is Oriol Gomez, in fact, in the Seat Ibiza, and Emil Trina is alongside him in the Skoda. Now, both of these are contestants in the World Formula 2 Championship. So you've got Skoda against Seat. Seat, of course, next year to enter the outright competition with a four-wheel drive turbocharged car. A Skoda Felicia 1.6, however, here being driven by Trina, car 20, and car 19 is the Seat Ibiza of Oriol Gomez. Through the Sheraton corner for the first time, and the matchup is really, really tight. Car 19, Gomez underneath. It overflies Trina.
Trina with co-driver Milos Hulka, retired in the 1994 API Rally Australia, who has some experience here. Gomez partnered by Mark Marty.
The Formula 2 cars, as you can see, because they're only using front-wheel drive, are slower than even the Group N production cars. That doesn't mean they're slow, it just means they're slower than. And only by a matter of seconds. Tajima a 147, of Kataoka, for example, a 143. So about 4 seconds in it. As Trina now skims the inside of the circuit down at Qantas Curve. The two of them side by side as they go over and under the Qantas jump. Big jump. Lands very hard, does car 19, Oriol Gomez. But in doing so opens the gap that he needs, and it's going to be Gomez who will take a relatively easy time from Trina as they come down Riverside Drive.
Trina gets a little closer, but Gomez is going to take it. The thing is, his time.
Oh, excellent time. 143 off Nobuhiro Tajima, 147. So 4 seconds off. That is sensational stuff. And just have a look at the jump. On the little jump, just a little hop, but those bunny hops really do make the difference, don't they?
Oriol, good drive, big jump.
Yes, a little bit jump, but it's okay. I think it's a good time, and only 2 kilometers, and then it's not very important that time. I think tomorrow coming the rally.
Well, it's still really good, and I'm sure by the looks of you, you're happy.
Yes, of course, I'm happy because the car is okay.
Contento?
Yes, of course, contento. Muy contento.
Okay, perfecto.
Thank you.
Oriol Gomez and Mark Marty of Spain winning that matchup, but here so far are the quickest times. Kataoka with a 1:43, going through the next 4. Down Langley Park in Perth. Beautiful evening. API Rally Australia well underway now. Only a handful of cars really to contest this first 2.2 kilometre super stage. We're looking at cars 15 and 16. In car 15, Pavel Sibera and Peter Gross, both from Czechoslovakia. And then a Finnish team, the first of our Finnish teams tonight, Harry Rovanperä and Voito Salander.
This is the last of the Formula 2 cars to contest tonight before we go back to the Group A Blattenhausens, the four-wheel drive turbocharged 300+ horsepower cars. Meantime, look at the wheel spin off the front of car 16 from Rovanperä as he charges out in the Seat Ibiza off the bitumen onto the dirt. Hard turn in here, just wrenched the wheel right. While later, Sibera goes in and then chucked the thing absolutely sideways. Front wheel clawing for traction. This a clay surface, nothing like at all the surface that the teams will face when they go to the forest tomorrow.
Well, the very round pebbles on the roads around Western Australia are unique in the World Rally Championship. This is something different again, and of course the combination of the dirt and the bitumen make it even that much more exhilarating. Car 16 on the outside is Rovanperä. Back out onto the tar right now.
Just 0.6 of a second separates them on this, the first run down. Looks longer, doesn't it, on the screen?
Very hard to tell with the separation of the two tracks. Sibera has a very good record here in API Rally Australia. In fact, won the Formula 2 category in 1994. Very hot contest this one though, and both so far just outside the quickest time we've seen.
Saenz in fact winning the 2-litre cup for Formula 2 cars in the world. Skoda likely to throw out a challenge together, but look at this, nice and tight now as they come down to the last corner. And it's the Saenz on the inside that almost certainly is going to pick up the wrap. The car on the outside, car 15, is the one that'll have the big charge down. But it's Rovanperä who comes through first, a 1:43.1, thereby equaling Emil Trinner.
Well, that's about as close as it gets. Rovanperä in the Saenz, beating the Skoda Felicia of Pavel Sibera. Here's Barry Sheene.
Yeah, Henry, really good time, just a fraction slow.
Yeah, it's okay. Now it's really easy, go to sleep and car working and everything's okay. And tomorrow rally start.
Go and have a good Australian beer.
Excuse me.
It's okay, thank you. Kiitos.
Rovanperä winning that matchup, but so far still the quickest is Kataoka in the Mitsubishi Lancer Evolution 3. He is second fastest though, Rovanperä. Here are the next through to 8. We'll be back. They're almost away in our 7th matchup tonight, and this is Ed Ordinsky and Mark Stacey in car 11. The face of Ed, who actually had the lap with Kenneth Eriksson earlier yesterday, the first drivers to actually tackle the course in 1997. Very confident. As we mentioned at the top of the program, he finally has the machinery to match car number 12, Yoshio Fujimoto, with Arnie Hertz.
Fujimoto currently running second in the Asia Pacific title. Ed Ordinsky about to debut in a World Rally Championship, his Group A car. And Ordinsky so intense as Wes Stacey talks to him and gets him under control. Mark Stacey rather talks to him and gets him under control inside the car.
The Lancer Evolution 3 now. The other Toyota Team Mitsubishi drivers are driving Lancer Evolution 4s. They're off. But Ed's car should be just as quick over this short distance as the Evolution 4 cars, John.
Oh yes, this is something else again. You see, the Evolution 4 car really has more to do with reliability than it is to do with more speed. Now Fujimoto turns in first, obviously, because he's on the shorter course. But look at Ordinsky getting this thing sideways. Now these are absolute Group A cars. Fujimoto sideways, Ordinsky as well. Now Ordinsky will lose out here as he goes under the Qantas leap. As Fujimoto goes over the top, big leap from Fujimoto. Ordinsky comes out. Listen to the pop-off on the turbochargers.
Long way apart now, so hard to tell, but look at the time up there of the leading car. We don't know which one that is yet. But Ed Ordinsky in the spotlight, comes from South Australia, big hero in Australian rally. He's won 7 Group Ns here.
Ordinsky in the lead.
By 0.6, it's very, very tight. But Ed Ordinsky holds the advantage at the moment.
The machine gun sound you hear is the pop-off of the turbochargers. It's meant to allow the turbochargers to always be on boost, therefore giving maximum power. Fujimoto now goes under the jump. Where's Ordinsky? Over the jump. There he goes. Going.
Spectacular stuff.
This is a really good exercise for Ordinsky, but he goes wide, very wide. Almost hits. Oh, look at this. Understeer wide. Is Fujimoto onto the straight first? And it's going to be Fujimoto who takes the win from Ed Ordinsky.
Well, a big comeback there. Fujimoto with a much better second half.
Ordinsky just lost it in one corner, went in too deep down in API corner, got understeer on and almost took the fence on the outside.
Precisely what we were saying earlier about one little error can cost you so much time in the context of this short event. But of course, a lot of kilometres left in this API Rally Australia for Ed Ordinsky to come back.
Yeah, congratulations, Fujimoto. Good drive, very good drive. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
No problem?
No problem. Just a too big jump.
Yeah.
Too big.
Very spectacular.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Okay. Don't touch much there.
Well, of course, we keep mentioning the co-drivers, but they're not playing the role they usually play, of course, in this Langley Park Superstage. Getting ready now for another massive matchup. This should be sensational.
All this time we've been waiting to see Possum Bourne against Neil Bates. There's Possum and Neil Bates on the other side. It is just sensational.
Possum Bourne with co-driver Craig Vincent, the National Rally Champion for 1997, after a marvellous battle with the man in the Corolla, Neil Bates. But Bates was driving the Celica for that championship. Now he's in the World Rally Car, the new Corolla, and this should be fantastic. A chance for Bates to perhaps even the score in this Langley Park Superstage, of course, with his longtime partner, Coral Taylor.
Now, Bourne will turn in first, of course, because he's on the shorter straight down here this time. Bates marginally later on the turn-in. This car of Bates, a shorter wheelbase than that of Possum Bourne, more nimble around this course, most likely to be the car that will fling underneath the Qantas flyover better than any other vehicle in the event. Bates very circumspect underneath there, not wanting to put a dent on this new World Rally Championship Corolla this first time out. Possum, however, understands this car well, been rallying it all year. Look at the sideways motion of Possum Bourne. Craig Vincent urging him on.
Neil had the Celica, of course, when he was beaten for 5th in Rally New Zealand by Possum. He's trialled this Corolla once. That was in the Indonesian rally, and a lot of things went wrong. But of course, you'd expect that with the development of a car such as this new World Rally car. And Possum really throwing up the dirt. So is Bates. This is a great matchup here.
This is Bates' run, however. He's going to fly over the jump, while Bourne has to back off underneath it. Bates
like
now
Bates
takes the lead.
Looks like he has got the initiative, Bates, and we'll see what happens.
Oh, this
when
is
they get back onto Riverside Drive.
This is a great confidence booster for Neil Bates. Possum Bourne a little too sideways as he comes back onto the main straight. Here they come down Riverside Drive, but it's Neil Bates to take the win, and he'll do it quite substantially on Possum Bourne.
Well, the extra power from that Toyota World Rally car is really outstanding. Neil Bates, a big victory there.
Nonetheless, quite a slow time, 1:38.5, as we watch Bates over the jump.
might be a situation where Neil is just feeling his way into this rally. The car is going as well as he'd like. He clocked a very quick time the other day, as we mentioned. Here's Barry Sheene.
Yeah. Oh, he's fast. Are you happy with that, Neil?
Yeah, that was a reasonable run. I didn't get it quite right. Probably not as good as the other night, but that's what we did on the night.
Getting used to the car?
Yeah, the car felt very good, but it just wasn't a perfect run, but...
Another couple of days yet, though.
Definitely.
Right, good on you, Neil.
Ed Ordinsky made an interesting comment, John, saying that he thinks that Bates will beat Didier Auriol, his teammate, in this particular rally, and that's a big statement.
It's a statement that Bates would find very, very pressurising because he just doesn't need that sort of pressure on him to be up against a world champion and being given that sort of a rap this time out. Now we look at Freddie Loix, the Belgian driver. This is the man they say is likely to be the next Didier Auriol. They say this is the find of the season in Europe. And against him is Richard Burns, the #2 driver for the Winfield Mitsubishi team. They call his car a Charisma. In fact, it's a Mitsubishi Lancer, like anything else, rebadged for the Japanese market.
Yes, a Lancer Evolution 4, in fact. So this is the next step up, so to speak, from the car that you saw Ordinsky driving earlier. But as John pointed out, not necessarily quicker over this very, very short distance.
Now Burns, as we said earlier, the bridesmaid for Mitsubishi this year, as Loix flings the Celica over the jump. This is the last time out for the Toyota Celica. Loix will now go to a Corolla along with the rest of Toyota Team Europe. So Loix given the opportunity to see the Celica off, and he's really doing so in great form. Richard Burns marginally ahead of Freddie Loix as they come on to Riverside Drive. The actual split time is at the top of the straight, so even though it appears that the other car is leading, the time's taken at the top of the straight.
Loix co-driver Sven Smeets, both from Belgium, and Loix's nickname is Fast Freddy, regarded as a very, very promising prospect.
But it's Burns over the top, and Burns, as they come down now, has the marginal advantage, but it's going to be close. Loix over the second jump into the final corner. Burns looking for the easy way out, gets it nicely lined up, flings it onto the straight, third gear, fourth gear. Loix has got the indicator on. They're side by side.
Loix by a couple of lengths so far, and...
It's Loix.
Yes, Loix. Just
0.1 of a second.
Wow.
And it's 1:36.6, the fastest time of the night.
Let's have another look. This is over the Qantas flyover. And of course, the photographers are taking the opportunity to get one of the most spectacular pictures you'll see at API Rally Australia.
Fast Freddy, the fastest time of the night so far.
Okay, it's when you say the Celica is still a very good car.
But good, not so bad driver, eh?
No, not so bad driver, okay. I was not taking maximum, but I had the feeling I make no mistake. It was very clean. I think you make a very big jump. It was quite impressive for myself. It was nice.
Great, thank you.
Freddie Loix there winning that contest. Let's go through the leaderboard. We've got Bates and Taylor with a 1:35.9. Very close to the time they set when they had a practice here yesterday. Through fifth, we have Fujimoto down to Rovanpera in 8th. And that's the top 8, API Rally Australia. This is the Langley Park Super Stage. Now we're seeing the next 4. We'll be back with more action very shortly. Welcome back, API Rally Australia, and we're about to see the 10th matchup. They're away. You're looking at Kenneth Eriksson and Staffan Permander from Sweden in car number 4, matched up with the Toyota Castrol team of Didier Auriol and Dennis Giraudet.
And this is the first of 3 major battles on the night. The real World Championship contenders now down to the wire. 1:36.6 is Freddie Loix. We believe 1:35.9 on Neil Bates. So there's a time to match.
Eriksson absolutely airborne there. You saw from inside the car Eriksson's form a little earlier in the program. That's the car number 7 of Didier Auriol. 1990 Rally Australia winner, 1994 World Champion. That was in a Celica, of course. Now he's in the Toyota World Rally car, the Corolla, up against Eriksson in the Subaru Impreza World Rally car. current Asia-Pacific champion, may win it for 2 years in a row. Competing, interestingly enough, only in the gravel events this year, swapping with the Italian Liati in the second Subaru Works team. And that, John, has produced some very interesting battles, because this actual car, the second Subaru, is only 2 points off the championship lead. But because they've shared drivers, those points have been split up, and really, that car is no contest.
This, however, is the real contest right here. Didier Auriol flinging the Corolla around onto the main straight. The time to beat is Neil Bates, 35.9. The record is 35 neat. There is now a new record. Didier Auriol breaks the Langley Park record of 1:34.6, and there are 2 heats still to come, with drivers allegedly even faster than these.
Here we go. Another look at Auriol flying over the Qantas flyover. Ericsson underneath. And just get it a little too much sideways, and that's all you have to do to lose this thing. But as we said, a long way to go in API Rally Australia, but still, great excitement for the fans. Didier Auriol.
Didier, the fastest time, new record.
Yeah, but I have a bad start. I start a little late, and I am surprised in the first twisty corner. It's very slippery, and I use the handbrake, and I go a little too sideways. But okay, after I drive well.
So good. Not so bad.
No, it's not so bad.
Okay, thank you.
And now, the man who did hold the record up to only a short time ago, Juha Kankkunen, in the Repsol Ford. There, however, is the man he's against, Colin Mcrae, in the 555 Subaru.
95 world champion Colin Mcrae, joined this year by Nicky Grist, one of the great co-drivers, formerly a partner of Juha Kankkunen, so he knows what these guys are all about.
Kankkunen, 4 times World Rally Champion, the guru of rallying in the world, up against Colin Mcrae, the man who would be king.
Mcrae slightly in front. This guy is absolute dynamite in the car. You never know what's going to happen. He's wild. Oh, he's sideways. Well, there you go. Precisely what we said. He ripped away from Kankkunen early, but then got into trouble. Amazing.
But he's back into it again, Bill. He's not done that much damage, and he's back into it, but he's got to back off there. That's obviously unsettled him as Kankkunen comes over the jump. Kankkunen, the man who could have won 2 rounds of the World Rally Championship this year, but backed off to give the wins to his teammate Carlos Saenz, so that Saenz could be in contention for the World Championship. Kankkunen coming into the event only halfway through, of course.
Yes, and still collecting an absolute bucket load of points. So had he... Oh! He gets it sideways there, but of course a lot of pressure on the tyres as they brake hard on that bitumen. Kankkunen has so many points really, though, from the few rounds he's contested. What could he have done, John, if he'd been in this World Rally Championship from the beginning?
Well, Carlos Sainz goes to Toyota next year. Kankkunen is confirmed as #1 driver for Ford next year, so then we'll know what Kankkunen can do.
Well, he certainly has shown plenty in the past. Over that little jump there, Juha Kankkunen, comfortable buffer now on Colin Mcrae, who made that very early mistake. And there's Mcrae's form, still keeping in touch with Kankkunen, but probably lost too much time as they head down the straight. Yes, Kankkunen with almost half the straight between he and Colin Mcrae when they launched themselves back onto the bitumen for the last time. And just outside the quickest so far, we've got 0.7. Second fastest, though. Mcrae, of course, 3.5 seconds outside and 7th quickest, and this is why.
And there you go, takes out the barriers, does Colin Mcrae. Many adjustments on this motor car, many opportunities for them to screw up the balance, and I regret to say that's exactly what Colin Mcrae did. He got the balance just a bit wrong. There's Juha Kankkunen.
A legend in world rallies, and he'll be talking to Barry Sheene shortly. 4-time world champion, 4-time winner in API Rally Australia. And Tommi Makinen, who was favoured to win the World Championship this year, was once a protege of this man.
You are second fastest time. Everything okay?
Yeah, fine, no problem. Went well.
So you're looking forward to the next 2 days?
Yeah, it starts tomorrow. It's much nicer than... But this is, in a way, it's good for the spectators as well.
Hoover, hoover.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
The great Juha Kankkunen, and, well, the man who has learnt so much from Juha Kankkunen will be up again very shortly, and that's Tommi Makinen.
There's Makinen, the man who leads the World Championship Look at the concentration on his face, and he's up against Carlos Saenz, the man who's second in the World Championship. Now, Makinen can win the 1997 World Championship at API Rally Australia. He only has to win to do that. Carlos Saenz is the man who has to beat him if he's to remain in contention in the title hunt.
And winning here is not easy. All the top drivers have had some non-finishes and 0 points results this year, so it's quite possible to come away with absolutely nothing, no matter how good you are. And a 10-point result here, by contrast, for Carlos Saenz could knock this guy for 6.
Very much so. I think both of these guys, having seen what happened to Colin Mcrae, might be just a little bit cautious on this run through.
And as a result, could leave Neil Bates of Australia, well, I beg your pardon, second quickest at least, because we saw that great record run. But still, Sainz team with Louis Moyer, and of course Makinen with Seppo Harian. Very, very experienced drivers, and very, very neat so far in the Langley Park Superstage.
Sainz in the lead underneath the Qantas jump. Look for it over the top. There goes Makinen. Big jump from Makinen. Now Makinen takes over the advantage. Just 2 corners remaining. Makinen down into it. Look at the lights of Sainz coming up on the inside. It's a faster run round the outside if Makinen holds it in tight. Now he gets the power down. Now heading for the main straight. It's Sainz onto the main straight first. Sainz is going to do it. Sainz going for the record. No, he doesn't do it by 0.2 of a second. Didier Auriol takes the record and the night, but Carlos Sainz, a brilliant run, 134.8, and only 0.1 of a second behind is Tommi Makinen.
Knocks Neil Bates out. In fact, both drivers knock Neil Bates out. You notice Makinen goes to 3rd.
Just a magnificent run.
Carlos, it was fastest time is still Bates. No, who's the
Didier Auriol.
Yeah, I don't know who the fastest time is at the moment. But we get you as second fastest now.
Well, we'll see. I think the proper rally starts tomorrow. This is a little bit of warm up.
But you beat your friend over here.
Well, we'll see.
I'm sorry, I didn't know the fastest time.
Yeah, we interviewed Carlos Sainz on RPM just the other day. Very determined man. Of course, as we said, it's all on the line here in API Rally Australia. A lot of circumstantial things can happen to Carlos Sainz over the next 4 days, but all things going right, including the Ford, of course, he will be very much in the running for the world title when this is all over.
Well, Carlos Sainz, of course, is a man who has always had bad luck here at Rally Australia. It's the one rally he's never been able to win.
Here's Barry Sheene.
Give me the time?
No, not quite. We were just 5 meters behind of Carlos, and still we were 1 second slower. That is not quite fair.
But as far as the rest of the competition is concerned, the big competition is between you and Carlos, so...
For sure. It's going to be hard.
But it's going to be Helvete Huber.
Exactly.
Okay, thanks, Tommy. I'll let you work out what that means.
Looking at the leaderboard now, Didier Auriol, the legend, comes back. Boy, there are some big names in API Rally Australia this year. One of the hottest fields you'll ever see. So he's on top, inside 135. So was the Sainz-Moyer combination, as I mentioned. Makinen, even though beaten by Sainz in that head-to-head battle, still managed to clock a 135.1 and jump into 3rd overall. And that is a very, very good result. But we must stress, this is just 2.2 kilometres of more than 1,500 in API Rally Australia, and it's the first of 3 visits to Langley Park over the next few days.
Yeah, the visits to Langley Park are a really good idea. At the end of each day, they come back here, they rally in front of the spectators once again. There'll be thousands of spectators in the paddocks in the fields around Perth over the next few days, but it's here that the real crowd gathers.
And of course, we'll have a greater picture as the days unfold of just what this stage means in the overall championship.